each episode, I think, is meant to sort of like cumulatively just like go beyond where you think someone would go in the name of the job. So by episode 6, it's like sort of nauseatingly.
Really?
Yeah.
And you felt nauseated?
Well, just that sort of like the blur between what's professional and what's personal when you're dealing with the entertainment industry is so complicated. And I think like Ollie's scripts are almost an exercise in like how far can we push it and push it and push it. Sort of Black Mirror-ish in a way, that idea of taking reality and then going, this is the logical conclusion of what we set up here. Like, I went and sat in a PR, amazing PR agency that let me sit in for a day, and I was exhausted by midday. It was like the pace at which these guys were walking, talking, meeting, digesting, everything was happening in real time. The news was, you know, always changing and stuff. And that gave me just an insight into how tired Eve must be a lot of the time, you know, and then how she like drinks and parties her way to kind of keep the adrenaline going. And what I found interesting is that the people that I interviewed were obviously like super savvy and really not like the characters in Ab Fab, but when I made that reference, they were like, yes, we love Ab Fab, and whatever you do, you can never do too much. Like almost unanimously, every PR agent I met was like, go for it, babes. Like they really wanted to see them sort of like, because I think it might not be every day, but stuff that's as extreme in the show actually happens in real life too. The thing that scared me was hearing the narratives that can be sort of predetermined in the press, and it's just a question of when that person is going to have their fall from grace, or the sort of soap opera part of it. It's not, you know, the whole of the press industry, it doesn't operate like that, but I saw an aspect of it.
If people find out she's as pumped full of toxins as the rest of us, brown bruise.
I've been surprised at how affectionate people feel towards her. Yeah. I think maybe she represents the inner voice that a lot of people don't like to let out. She's not a good girl, and so it's kind of delicious. And she's always got a ready response to things, which I think a lot of us fantasize about. She does Kundalini, so yin and yang. Oh, it's really beautiful kind of yoga where you stimulate the Kundalini. Is the idea of this coiled snake of energy at the base of your spine,
right.
And this yoga uses a lot of repeated movements and breath to stimulate that. So it's one of the beautiful paradoxes of Eve is that she's a yogi as well as a...
But that does mean she has a snake inside her, which is also fitting. There was a line in the show that I really liked, which was, I think Sophie Okonedo delivers it, I believe, and she says, the world keeps turning, we just push.
Yeah, it's chilling.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
Does it feel funny to think about how like we were talking about a little bit earlier, how the narratives in which we think to be news or personal revelations are in fact just marketing exercises?
Yeah, and there's that chicken and egg thing, because if you stopped pushing, then maybe the world would change. But that whole is very our generation. I think that's sort of apathetic, like what I do isn't going to make a difference, or, you know, if I recycle my thing, the restaurant down the road isn't recycling, so it can't, you know, I'm just a drop in the ocean. And that attitude is quite defining of our I feel, at least in my experience, and it's not so responsible maybe to think that way.